Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got a late start today. I was doing travel ball this weekend, and just to be honest, I was worn out yesterday. I was about to do a video, and I just was freaking tired. Okay, now a lot has gone on in the last 24 hours, and I will go over it now. Let me draw these shades a little bit. There's some light coming in here. Okay. I tweeted this out this morning. The Bitcoin marketing machine is not putting anyone on CNBC today to speak about how it's the one and only digital asset that will ever be, ever. I think they're still meeting, trying to come up with the next genius money is stored energy line. Now, J.C. Collins tweeted something out that I think is important, because I do every once in a while want to stop and make you understand something. I talk a lot about how it was never Bitcoin and proof of work Ethereum. I don't talk about these things for the purpose of bashing Bitcoin and Ethereum. I talk about them because the way the Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis have always marketed their whole thing is that, oh, well, it's these two and nothing else. Everything else is garbage. Everything else is shit coins and altcoins. And for that reason, I have felt very compelled to tell you the truth, to be very upfront about what is really going on. And so I will continue to do it, because these guys are wrong. They've not been being honest about how this proof of work is somehow going to be the end-all be-all. They have not been telling the truth about this. And the thing that insults me the most is that they know it. These aren't dumb people. I've never accused them of being dumb. They're not stupid. Bitcoin and proof of work in general is a marketing machine. They all know that the technology behind proof of work, yes, it got us through the door, but it is not what's going to carry us for the touchdown. Not, and they know it. But they continue to, oh, well, those are shit coins. Those are a pile of garbage, when they know that that's not true. The tech, and we'll go through all of this. But J.C. Collins makes a good point to Anthony Pompliano. He says it's time to swap Bitcoin over to the XRP ledger. Keeps Bitcoin as a store of value, but also green. You can be a big part of smoothing the waters as this happens. Then you don't need to worry about renewable energy, because it'll barely use any. Exactly. Smart Elon Musk as well. Now, that's the truth. J.C. Collins is telling the truth. It was never going to happen unless they put it on the XRP ledger or something like it. It just wasn't, because it's too slow. You don't have to take my word for it. I'll show you in this video. Now, this is what I want to show you that's very important that's going on right now. Look at the Bitcoin dominance. It's down to 39%. But also look at what's happening. Bitcoin's down to 44. But look at what's remaining relatively stable is XRP. Look at this. We're at $1.51 in the face of this market that has been crushed for what reason? Because Elon Musk told the truth about Bitcoin, came out yesterday, and I'll show you that in a minute, came out yesterday and said Bitcoin is not decentralized. Now, he's one of the smartest guys in the history of the world, but somehow he's able to figure out the obvious, which I've been talking about on this channel for years now. But Jay Clayton and William Hinman at the SEC, they just couldn't quite figure this out. Now, they didn't want to put their name on it. They didn't want to say it was the official position of the SEC that Bitcoin was not a security because it's so decentralized. They never would put their name on it, say this is the official position of the SEC, because they didn't want to have any real blowback. But they couldn't figure this out. Elon Musk can figure it out. I can figure it out. You can figure it out. But they just couldn't. They just couldn't get their mind around it. Well, check this out. So return rates. These are the return rates on. I want you to look This is with the Bitcoin marketing machine, global marketing machine. Anytime Anthony Pompliano wants to go on CNBC, CNN, whatever, he just tweets out that he's thinking about going on, and then he goes on. He gets free reign. Anytime he wants to go tell the world about how Bitcoin's the only thing that there ever will be in digital assets, he gets to do it in the face of all that free publicity and all of he probably even gets to tell CNBC which digital assets they're allowed to show on the screen, if I had to guess. It's only up 366% to XRP under an SEC investigation at 653%. Are you kidding me? And Stellar, XLM, which we'll talk about later, at 897%. Are you kidding me? Now, let's look at a little bit about what a couple of people say about the market right now. Hello there, this is Dark Defender. Hello there, XRP is on her way and still in the boundaries we discussed earlier. Below is an update to the chart that I've shared in previous month. Please take your coffee. This is important. Just come closer and have a look. My expectations are the same. Enjoy your beautiful day. And here's what his expectations are. Let's go to number 3. I expect the same pattern to continue this month. Therefore, at least we need to see all-time high this month, not next month, all-time high in May. Target all-time high and $13.33. He's been saying this for a long time. And then we've got Crypto Wizard. Well, the lock is off. The key has been used. Soon we will see a parabolic move on XRP BTC and the bull run I've been calling since December 2020, with my bias not changing one bit. Once Bitcoin finds support, it's time. Get ready, you deserve it. And then he's retweeting this. I'll give you a clue. This above this is where the real bull run starts. This is still warming up. Break that and watch. You heard it here first, okay? Now, let's go through. I wanted to show you some of these Elon Musk tweets, okay? First, he says what he had said earlier was that he made it appear that maybe Tesla had sold some of his Bitcoin. That's what caused the market to do what it's doing. Now, this is the tweet that started it all, those. This Mr. Wells says Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. And then he shows what his reply was. I wouldn't blame him. All he said was indeed, and so that is what caused the market to go down. But this down here also did. Look at this reply right here. First, this guy says, Elon, while the thread is a bit adversarial in its tone, it does have truth that Dogcoin, cryptos like Bitcoin, people will lose money when the whales dump. And he says Bitcoin is actually highly centralized, with supermajority controlled by a handful of big mining, aka hashing companies. A single coal mine in Xinjiang flooded, almost killing miners, and Bitcoin hash rate dropped 35%. Sound decentralized to you? And he's got a Forbes article about it right here. Then he says, hey, cryptocurrency experts, ever heard of PayPal? It's possible maybe that I know more than you realize, I guess, about how money works, okay? Yes, he was one of the founders of PayPal with Peter Thiel. We'll get to that. Now, I tweeted this out yesterday when all this was going on because it's important, in my opinion. I believe back in 2013, PayPal announced PayPal Galactic. It was announced by the then president of PayPal, David Marcus. David Marcus is the same guy who now is at Facebook, and when they announced what was Libra and is now Diem, Facebook's digital asset, who was in charge of it? David Marcus, same guy. And so I'm asking the question, what happened to PayPal Galactic? And I asked both them, of course, Elon Musk, who was a founder of PayPal. I'm telling you, this is where the bodies are buried, folks. And I don't mean anything nefarious there. I just mean this is where the secrets lie. This is where it is. And Starlink, the satellites, this right here, when I interviewed Greg Kidd and he called XRP for the first time, I had heard the first intergalactic currency. We later saw the guy from Circle, what's his name? Jeremy Allaire tried to call his cryptocurrency the first intergalactic currency. And I corrected him and said, no, that was Greg Kidd that said that. Greg Kidd calls himself a payments guy. Greg Kidd said he heard about Ripple at a card game. He told us one of the people at the card game, but he wouldn't tell us the other one or two people at the card game. I've always wondered if it was a PayPal Mafia member at that card game, because he's a payments guy. Now, so PayPal Galactic disappears. This was the announcement of PayPal Galactic in 2013 that they were going to work on a galactic currency. Then this was Ripple's commercial they did in October 21st of 2019, which had a person out in space in a space suit, and I think they were receiving digital currency. Okay, and you have to ask yourself, well, if that's in the commercial, how are they beaming this payment up and down? Because that's the question, isn't it? If that's in the commercial, and then here's David Marcus just to show you that he's a board member at Diem now, but he headed up the Libra project when it first started. Okay, now I wanted to show you this. I said, might be a time to rewrite this article and feature how a green digital asset will help create an interplanetary economy. It was never Bitcoin. This was an article that was written on April 21st, basically saying that since Bitcoin, which has a mining problem that is an energy problem, they're going to use a lot of renewable energy to do their mining. And somehow this means that SpaceX and Tesla and Bitcoin mining, somehow this is going to be an interplanetary currency. Wrong-o. Now, I also thought this was interesting. I just bumped into this when I was doing some research this morning. Elon Musk probably invented Bitcoin. I'm not saying I believe that. I don't think that's true, but it's an interesting article written by someone who I think worked at, I think this person was at either SpaceX or Tesla, the guy that wrote this, which makes it kind of interesting. All right, and then here's a tweet from Elon Musk back on March 14th, 2014. Someone says, Elon, what are your standings on cryptocurrencies? And he says, well, now that Satoshi Nakamoto has been discovered, I guess it's case closed. And he's got a smiley face there, which I thought was an interesting tweet. Okay, and then Crypto Dim sent me this. Peter Schiff weighed in on this morning. If a single Elon Musk tweet can have so much influence over the price of Bitcoin, how can anyone seriously consider it to be money? How can Bitcoin be a safe haven asset if a one-word tweet puts it at risk? It should be clear by now that buying Bitcoin is gambling, not investing. Well, I think that could be said for a lot of things. If Elon Musk tweeted something bad about his own company, the stock price could go down drastically. Or another company. I mean, so I don't know if I totally agree with that. Now, this is a tweet that popped up today from Matthew Liney. XRP pre-allocation looked to be the plan from the beginning. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal Founders Fund, is an investor in Ripple. This was from back, and I've told you about this, but it shows down here where OpenCoin has also received investment from early stage wing. This OpenCoin is what Ripple, later they created a new company, Ripple, and that's what was OpenCoin. Received investment from early stage wing of Founders Fund, a venture firm owned by PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. And then it says OpenCoin plans to hand out some 50 billion ripples in the coming months and more in the future in an attempt to get the currency to function independently. Larson says his company, So anyway, then we have, let me see if there was something else. And then we have this article, which was in that thread. Big name investors back effort to build a better Bitcoin. Okay, so and one of the firms was Andreessen Horowitz. By the way, if you look, don't take my word for it. Go look for yourself. If you go look in Elon Musk's Twitter feed, one of Elon Musk's he doesn't follow many people, but one of the people he follows is Mark Andreessen, who is with Andreessen Horowitz. Okay, pure coincidence, right? Okay, so news from today's OpenCoin startup launched, and then it goes on and talks about how Peter Thiel has funded it. Now, this is one of the most interesting articles ever written about Ripple. It's called the Ripple Mafia. I've shown this several times on this channel, but there are a lot of new people here. The Ripple Mafia. I want you to listen to this, okay? As we go, let me go down here. Let's go down to the PayPal Mafia right here. Speaking of Peter Thiel, let's talk about the PayPal Mafia. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Stephen Chen, Reid Hoffman, and Russell Simmons all worked together at PayPal. They later sold it to eBay for $1.5 billion to split the cash and create multi-billion-dollar companies of their own. The list is long and includes names like SpaceX, Tesla, YouTube, Yelp, and LinkedIn. Well done, guys. So what we're to believe is that this PayPal Galactic, and I believe, and I showed you a video a week or two ago, that was what one of the guys in the PayPal Mafia said, that early on their vision was to create a global currency, and then later an intergalactic currency, folks. Okay, you can't make this stuff up. Jed McCaleb, the founder of OpenCoin, Mt. Gox, and he left Ripple to set up Stellar, that is currently sitting on a $5 billion market cap. Justin Sun left Ripple to create Tron, currently evaluated at more than 1.5. Who will be the next Elon Musk, and what will be the next YouTube? I believe that this is where things are, folks. I think that these guys, I think PayPal is all behind, not just Ripple, but Stellar, and we will show you here. Watch this, not this. Why Stripe gave up on Bitcoin and blockchain payments. Now, we know for a fact that Elon Musk is one of the investors in Stripe. We also know that Stripe gave, let me show you this first. 2018, Stripe, this is the Stripe COO, Claire Hughes Johnson, and Stripe, an Elon Musk investment, was an early investor in Stellar. By pure coincidence, she's sitting beside Ashish Birla of Ripple while describing why Stripe dropped Bitcoin. Listen to this clip.
I think in July, Bitcoin took about 60 minutes for the transaction to go through, which still isn't great. Imagine going to get a cup of coffee and then standing there for 60 minutes waiting for your transaction to go through. It's not a currency.
By the way, the example she just used has been used by Brad Garlinghouse and several other people at Ripple.
It's been as long as 3 to 5 days, and when you get that long for a transaction to clear, you actually sometimes have and the price difference changes, you actually have to do another transaction in order to make up the difference. So it became very complex on our side, but also on the merchant side, in order to reconcile and manage their books and know what they were actually selling, because the Bitcoin value is so volatile. It was changing, daily at that time.
Wow. Ashish, I know you guys at Ripple have a product that you sell to all sorts of financial institutions that uses cryptocurrency called XRP. Can you talk a little bit about, I know so far no bank has actually agreed to use XRP for payments, but that's something that your CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has guaranteed will happen by the end of this year. Can you talk a little bit about what is the resistance that you're getting from banks and financial institutions and what it's going to take to overcome that?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and that what we're finding is that it's a regional difference as well. So, in Southeast Asia, it's a very different story than the U.S., where a lot of these banks and financial institutions are reliant on the HSBCs, the Citibanks of the world to move money, but they're the future superpowers of the world, and they're seeing that they can use blockchain technology to leapfrog the Western world and maybe not rely so much on the service that Citibank offers to move money. The other thing is that there are a lot of issues with using digital assets and cryptocurrencies to move money, but part of what we've done at Ripple is made that experience a good one. So for example, there is an issue with volatility, but using our technology, if they want to move money into Mexico, for example, they're seeing the US dollar to Mexican peso rate, and they're only exposed to the volatility as it transfers across the different systems for a few seconds.
Yeah, a few seconds. How about them apples? All right, Stellar. See this, and this is Stellar's announcement about investing. Stripe's announcement about investing in Stellar. And the most interesting part of this is right here. A couple of months ago, Stripe contributed $3 million to help get the project going. In return, we received 2% of the Stellars. However, the project is not, sorry about that. It says, However, the project is not run by Stellar. We just believe that a system with properties like Stellar's should exist in the world, and we heartily encourage anyone interested in participating in its development. It says we're going to auction a majority of our Stellars to other interested companies, with any net profits being returned to the Stellar Foundation. It would be real interesting to find out who those companies are, wouldn't it? Now, let me show you a tweet by Patrick Collison. I think he's, let me see if he's still, yeah, he's the Stripe CEO. Listen to this. This is from August 22nd, 2018. In 4+ years, Stripe has said very little about Stellar. I wonder why. In public, and has not sold a single lumen. Line in question says we'd like to see substantive, i.e. non-speculative usage grow. More broadly, I think pushes for ideological purity, So anyway, they haven't sold any of their lumen and Stellar lumen, XLM. And these guys are wanting utility, is what he's just now saying. I find that very interesting. Now, the whole narrative is supposed to be that Ripple and Stellar had this falling out, and Jed McCaleb and Chris Larson didn't get along. Let me tell you what, from everything I've seen, that's not what I believe. I could be totally wrong, but I don't believe it. I think all the world's a stage. I think they're brother and sister. I think that the plans have been XRP and XLM all along. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family.